Oh, okay. Stick that down there. Is that far enough? I think it is. Just for reference. And I think I know what I did wrong. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a while. I've been just really busy with work. So many noises. Somebody's throwing a party over here too, so you may hear some of that in the background. Anyway, back out in the garden. I just did some basic like mowing and weed whacking, and now I'm going to do a little bit of harvesting. It is time to harvest beets, and there's a few other things. I think I still have like a few kohlrabis somewhere in here. I'm going to go ahead and pull rutabagas, basically all the root vegetables. We're getting prepped for some fall gardening, what little bit I can do. And then I'm also going to tell you about the lessons that I have learned this year with gardening. So the first lesson is one that I think that there's a lot of people who don't fully understand, and that's that gardening, in particular growing your own veggies and fruit and all that stuff, takes a lot of work. Like a lot of work. You will be very tired, and you will hit the end of growing season and be just so over it. And that's, you're fine, you're ready for winter, and then you'll want to do it all again in the spring. But it is a lot of work, which personally I like because it's a great workout. Do I get exhausted? Yes. Are there weeks where I'm just way too tired to go out and do anything? Yeah, absolutely. Physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted. It's a lot of work. But if you enjoy it, it's worth it. Okay, I promise these aren't all just kind of like hoity-toity, loosey-goosey lessons. Stick around. I've got some actual actionable ones in here. The next thing is that it will cost you money. You will spend money. So if you're trying to save money to grow your own veggies, you can do that, but not for a couple years, at least. Which brings me to lesson 2. You don't need to spend all of the money to instantly have an Instagram perfect garden. Creating an amazing garden takes time, and you don't have to just spend your money instantly. You can also look for clearances and sales and free plants and plant trades. There's so many other ways to make achieving a beautiful garden affordable. Which brings me to lesson 3. Gardening is such a practice in patience, but at the same time, you're going to get those dopamine hits. I can't tell you the number of times, and I know I'm not the only gardener because I have seen these videos on social media, that checks in on their garden, and every time stuff grows new leaves or starts producing fruits or veggies, or even early on just sprouts from seed, it is such an amazing dopamine hit, like so much serotonin. But at the same time, you're in it for multiple months, possibly the whole year, depending on if you start your seeds yourself. It is not a short-term success, so it is very much a practice in patience. Okay, I promise that there are actionable ones, so here is an actionable one. I like to find the least expensive compost possible to add into my garden, and just know that there is a trade-off for that. If you are purchasing compost and not making your own, or you just haven't gotten to the point where you have enough of your own that you're making to use, when you buy cheap compost, you're getting cheap compost. And it doesn't mean that it is bad compost. It just doesn't necessarily have as much nutrients as maybe you're going to want. Another thing with that, I was getting exclusively mushroom compost, which is great. Love it. Doesn't stink, works well. However, I think my soil was missing some key nutrients, because there was one point where I bought some just compost mix. It was a cow manure one from Ace Hardware, still very inexpensive. And I noticed a difference. I noticed a big difference, guys. I should have been using this whole time. And I will definitely be using it moving forward. There are so many different nutrients in different composts and soils and dirts, and so many different nutrients that your plants need. Like phosphorus, which is in cow manures. Lesson learned. Which is another lesson. I don't even know what lesson we're on now at this point, but treating your soil, taking care of your soil, and focusing on growing the healthy soil and microbiome and everything there, that is what is going to allow your plants to flourish. So don't focus so much on the plant itself, focus on the dirt. And you want loose, healthy dirt with lots of nutrients. You're going to be amending it every year. This year will probably amend it both in the fall and in the spring. And then you fertilize throughout the year. And you don't have to use, I think fertilizer gets a bad rep. You don't have to use, Miracle Grow. I don't use that. I found organic fertilizers, but those put nutrients back into the dirt and can be really good. And you can make your own fertilizers. There's compost teas, and you can add, if you make your own compost and it's very rich, you can add that to the top, and that will serve as a fertilizer. You just want to make sure that you are continuing to give your plants the nutrients that they need to grow your produce. Otherwise, your crop is going to be not amazing. Not going to lie. It's going to be pretty small. Okay, this one is more of a lesson learned. Do not use the pots from the dollar store. They seem inexpensive and great. And I mean, they're not like, they're dollar store pots, right? Like, they're not overly attractive, but you're like, hey, this is budget friendly. This is great. No, I don't know what they are made from, but so far, all of the plants that I have put into those pots, obviously something toxic is leaking into them. Currently, I have my raspberries in there. So those are going to have to probably be transplanted, and then I just won't eat the rest of the raspberries this season if it grows any, because I don't know what has been absorbed into the plant. So that's fun. Don't do that. Here's a big one that I learned this year, and that is water. Water. If your plants are not growing, water. Especially, I remember looking up, trying to figure out, like, why weren't my plants growing? Like, what was wrong? And I saw on so many websites and everything that people were like, you might be overwatering and all of that. If you live in the Rocky Mountain region or somewhere that's kind of consistently hot and dry, they're not talking to you. Okay? They are not talking to you. Go water your plants. I saw advice. I just bought soaker hoses this year, which I sort of half installed. I'll get to it next year. But I saw people saying, turn it on for like 45 minutes. No, you need to turn that soaker hose on, babe, for like 2 hours, okay? 2 hours. Maybe 3. Go water. Like, let me just show you the difference. This is last year's garden where I wasn't watering enough. This is this year's garden where I have watered so much more. Like, mind-blowing difference, right? Okay, so yeah. This one is more of a reminder to my future self. You order your seeds from Johnny's Seeds, which all have excellent germination rates. Do not put so many seeds in one spot. Stop it, okay? Space them out. Here's one that is another kind of mental, not so much actionable lesson, but just good to keep in mind. Your garden is going to look vastly different year to year, and crops that do really well the previous year may not do very well this year. For example, last year, my cucumber game was strong. I had multiple cucumbers. They were delicious, probably not thriving as much as even they could have, but they did pretty darn well. Tomatoes did pretty good. My first year, my peppers did amazing. Last year, peppers did nothing. This year, cucumbers, I've had one so far. So, every year is different, and you have to keep in mind that has to do with how you are feeding your soil. So if you can get to a place where you are getting your soil Like, it's balanced, it's got all the nutrients that it needs, and you're refilling it, amending it every year, and it's great. Then you're going to have more consistency. But give yourself a little patience and grace as you're learning this, because it's going to be very different each year. Also, did I mention that you should water? Okay, well, it's starting to rain, so I'm just going to show you really quick my haul and what I got, and then I'm going to say goodbye, and hopefully you enjoyed this. So I got all that, and there's still some carrots in a different box that I just didn't get to, because obviously just trying to finish this up real quick, but you know what? That's pretty good. So I hope this helped, and I hope that it gives you some hope and some information, especially if you're trying to grow in like the Rocky Mountain region. This is just stuff that I learned this year, and some things worked well and some things did not, and that's the way life goes. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. There's no guarantee that you will ever find your way back to me. Tragic. And I will see you next time. I hope you all have a great week. All right, bye.